Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel ANIN.EDUCATION. Before we start, don't forget subscribe, comment, like, and share. Today we learn about history of Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua and Barbuda is an island nations located in the Eastern Caribbean Sea. It is part of the Lesser Antilles and borders Guadeloupe to the south, Montserrat to the southwest, Saint Kitts and Nevis to the west, and Saint Barthélemy to the northwest. Pre-colonial period. Antigua was first inhabited by Armenians hunters gatherers called Siboney. In ancient times, carbon dating displays the earliest settlements as around 3100 BC. They were replaced by pre-Columbians, Arawakan, Saladoid-speaking people who migrated from the lower Orinoco River. Their arrival introductions agriculture, livestock raising, and in agriculture they introduced crops such as to the Antigua black, pineapple, anise, commosus, maize, sweet potatoes, chilies, peppers, guava, tobacco, and cotton. Europeans arrival and settlement. Christopher Columbus was the first European to sight the island in the 1493. The Spanish did not colonize Antigua until the convergence of European and African diseases, malnutrition, and the slavery eventually wiped out most of the native populations, likely due to smallpox. The English settled in the Antigua in the 1632. Christopher Codrington settled in the Barbuda in the 1685. Tobacco and the latter sugar the ground workers by large number of the Western populations for the West Africa, who soon for outnumbered the European settlers. Colonial era. The British maintained control of the islands and the repurposed French invasions attempt in the 1666. The brutal conditions endured by the slaves led the rebellions in the 1701 and 1729 and the planets upswing in the 1736. The letters led by Prince Calas Altrox is the was discovered before in the beacon and the ringleader leaders executes. Slavers was abolished in the British Empire in the 1833, which affected the economy. This was exacerbated by natural disasters such as the 1843 earthquakes and the 1847 hurricanes. Mining took place on the islands of Redonda and crisis in the 1929, and the island has remaining uninhabited since. Independence era. The first two decades of the Antigua independence were the political dominantly by a British family and ABLP, with fair births in the power from 1981 to 1994, followed by his son Lester's birth from the 1994 to 2004. Despite providing a degree of political stability and increasing stories to the country, the British administration was often accused to occupy cronyism and financial irregulations. Where Bert Jr., the elder son, was forced to leave the cabinet in the 1990 following a scandal in which he was accused of the smuggling Israeli weapon to Colombian drug dealers. Another son, Ivor Birds, was convicted of selling co-signers in the 1994. Most of Barbuda was devastated in early September 2017 by Hurricanes Irma, which brought wind reaches 295 km per H 185 mph. The storm destroyed 95% of the island buildings and infrastructure, rendering Barbuda virtually uninhabitable, according to Prime Minister Gaston Brownie. Nearly everyone to the island was evacuated to Antigua amidst Barbuda's subsequent rebuilding efforts, estimate to the cost at least $100 million. The government's announced plan to repeal century old customary and land ownership law by allowing residents to purchase land, moving criticals as the promoting disaster capitalism. Geographic. The country consists of the several islands, of which Antigua is largest and most inhabited. Barbuda, just north of Antigua, is the other's main island. The island was a warm tropical climate with the consistent temperatures years around. Redonda settles in the 1860 when phosphates deposits were discovered has been uninhabited since 1930 and also belonging to the Antigua and Barbuda. The island is mostly flat with its higher square being Bogey Peak at the 402 meters. The main city of the small country is the capital Saint John and Antigua. Barbuda large city is Codrixon. Cities and villages. The most population cities in the Antigua and Barbuda are Saint John, Saint Pigots, and Liberta. The most population town in the Barbuda is Codrington and estimates 25% of the population's life in the urban areas, much lower than average for the other large city of the far 55%. Cities and villages. The almost population cities in the Antigua and Barbuda are Saint John, Alsace, Pigus, and the Liberta. The most population town in Barbuda is the Codringtons, and the estimates 25% of the population's life in the urban area, much lower than the average for the large city of 55%. Island. Antigua and Barbuda consist primarily of two islands, Antigua and Barbuda. The large island are Guyan Island and Long Islands of the coast, Antigua and the Redonda Island, which is the furthest away from the two main islands. Climate. Rainfall averages 990 millimeters 39 in annually, with the amount varying greatly from the season to the seasons. The wettest period is generally between September and November. The island generally experiences low humidity of the recurrence drought. Hurricanes strike and average once a year, including the devastating hurricanes Irma on September 6, 2017, which damaged 95% of the building in Barbuda and approximately 1,800 people were evacuated to Antigua. The political of Antigua and Barbuda takes place within the parliamentary representative democratic monarchy. The prime minister of the head of the government and operates within a multi-party system. Executive power is the held by the government, legislative power and the held by the government and the two chambers of the parliament. Since 1949, the party system has been dominated by the Amitigua plus Labour's Party. Thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. See you to my next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.